Hello everyone, we're going to do another art activity today, and today we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to use some new technology to make ourselves a little film. It doesn't have to be very long, it's not a feature film. We're going to use our camera to make a little film, maybe a few seconds or maybe a minute long, and I'll show you how to do that. You need access to a smartphone, so someone in your family will have to give you permission to use theirs, and maybe they can do it with you, because there's some things I want you to find out for yourself. The app that we're going to use is called Stop Motion, and I'm not going to walk you through the app. I'm not going to tell you what everything does, and this does that and this does the other. I want you to have a look at it and have a little play with it and see if you can find out how it works. It's not very complicated. It's basically recording with the camera. You can put the sound on afterwards if you want to put sound on. So we've got the camera here, which we're going to use. I'm going to make sure the eye of the camera is in the right place, or the camera lens is in the right place. The stop and start button is the big red one. That's very easy. And I've got a play button there. I can look at what I have recorded on my phone, and we're going to use stop frame. Now, stop frame is very interesting because stop frame animation was started during the beginning era of Disney, and Disney used this to a great effect and made some fantastic films, especially for children. Their stop frame did not have any of this technology, so all of their films were handmade. They had teams of artists making the pictures, and then they take a picture of the picture and eventually put it all together in a huge line of pictures, which turned out to be a running film. Now, 1 second of film was approximately 24 individual pictures. So artists had to draw 24 pictures, almost the same, but something changes slightly, and then they take a picture of that, and then they do the next one and the next one, so that when they put that together in a line, it appears to move. The things appear to move on their own. They're not real things, they're not real life, they're cartoons, most of them. So this is the same principle. So we're going to put the phone on the table, and I'm going to put what I'm filming on the floor, and we're going to take little pictures of what's on the floor, and I will explain to you as you go along what I'm doing. Okay, so let's just attach this first. I'm not going to leave my phone balanced on the table like that. That'd be quite dangerous for the phone. I need to strap it to the table. Now, you need to ask permission for this. You never do this on your own. Your adult who's looking after you will have to help you. Or if you're an adult doing this, you can do it by yourself. So, masking tape. Masking tape is wonderful stuff. It is pretty sticky, but it's designed so that when you stick it on something, it's not permanent, and it holds it very, very tightly and well, and then when you take it off, it doesn't leave a mark on the thing that you've stuck it to. So if you're masking off part of your artwork, you can use this tape and it won't damage your artwork. So we're using the same principle for our phone. I don't want my phone to be land on the floor, and I don't want it all covered in other kinds of tape, so I'm using my masking tape. Never use sellotape, never use duct tape or anything like that, because those tapes will leave adhesive on the phone and will mark your phone, and that we don't want that. So I'm going to do quite a long bit here. The long piece of masking tape just gives a bit of stability. Okay, so if I'm careful, it'll be okay. If you really want to be secure, you could put a bit over the top here. I'm going to try and manage with that. I have plenty of room to move around, so I feel quite secure at leaving that like that. For this film, I'm going to just use objects that I have already, and I'm going to show you how they can move, in inverted commas. So on the floor, I've got a piece of patterned material, and I've got some gold material because it looks quite nice there, and I've got a violin, and I've got the violin bow here like this. So I'm going to show you how to make it move, and then we're going to pretend that the violin is going to play on its own. Okay, so for every picture that is on the floor, I will take 2 on the phone. I hope you'll hear the click. So first one. If you heard that. Okay, so I've done 2 pictures of the violin. I'm going to move this slightly, very slightly. Another 2. As you can see, it's slightly tricky at times. Now I've got the hair of the bow on the violin on the strings now. And I'm going to move it backwards and forwards. I'm going backwards first. A little bit more. Then we go forward. 2 pictures for each frame. We'll stop there. Okay, I've done 6 pictures of the last frame. Let's have a look at what we got. Okay, I'm going to try and show you here what I've got. You can see the violin in the background, and I have accidentally put my finger over the lens. So I'm going to get rid of that, and that lasts for about 4 frames. So if I select on that, if I hold down on it, okay, so I select this one and this, and let's go to the beginning. Select here, and that one, and then I want to delete those. So I need to get the menu up again. You just have to be really patient with it because sometimes it's not terribly responsive. We just want those 3 deleted. So I press delete over here, and I've got my little film. Let's see how it runs. I don't want that now. The little triangle here is play, so I hope you can see that okay. So you can see how it appears that the violin bow is moving on its own. That's just a tiny little clip to show you that impression. I'd like to show you the screen on the stop motion studio. And we've got Violin 1, which was the first film we made. I'm going to click on that, and if we go to the beginning of the film, all these pictures along the bottom here are the edit suite, and you press the play here, and it will play our film, and you can see the bow looks like it's moving on its own. If I was going to do that again, I would try and have the action actually happening a bit further away. So maybe I could use a higher table, or I could put the thing that I am filming a bit further away. So I have made another one here, Violin 2. I'm at the beginning of the little suite here, and if you watch this one's a bit different. Press play. You'll see that the bow has a lot more jerky movements because I'm moving the bow much larger movements every time I take the pictures, so it looks a bit jerky. So you need to remember that when you're making your film. If you want to put on some sound, I'll just show you how to do that. There is another way that you can speed up and slow down the animation, but I'm going to leave you to look for that yourself. And I'm going to just show you where you can find the sound. If I press add here, you can add pictures, you can put titles and credits on your film, and some audio. So if I press audio, and you've got little things here, I wonder if we've got any violins. So it's alphabetical order, so it's easy to find things. We haven't got any. Okay, if I press on the add sign here, I can get audio, and I have selected, it says C on here, and it lasts for about 11 seconds, which covers our little film here. And I play it like this. Let's see what happens. So it sounds a bit odd. I'm sure you can find something much better. There is also a facility for you to upload sounds of your own onto this, but that's for you to investigate. So I hope you enjoy doing this and you have a good time making some experimental films, little sounds, the titles for your films, the credits, and maybe you can then start to make some props for yourself. Maybe we can investigate that another day soon. Bye.